So test, gotta see how loud we have to talk.
Hi, hello, welcome.
Smile like that.
It's a regular smile.
Okay.
Yes.
It's crystal clear, we've been for years, struggle straight along the way, but having you by my side makes everything okay. We're watching video clips of all types of shits, laughing out loud, we really hate this crowd, and we don't know where to go, hopefully take it slow. Lots of hustler minds will reject and decline our approach to life, and that, well, that's just fine. We wanna let others live because it's none of our business. We press your chest upon our mess. There's so many minds, hey, I'd like to unwind. See beyond this place, we want a part of this race. We do what we can, you better tap out, man. You're about to pass out or get a break for the cloud. Why is it so hard out here? And they made it so weird. Try to stay woke and humble and joke. It's fucking hard out here.
Okay. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of It's Hard Out Here. I'm Joel Morales,
I'm Karana Ayala.
and today we have a very special guest, Sam Lam, with us. One of Karena's friends from work, and we just found that he does a lot of cool things, and we're here just to learn about him and learn a little bit about his journey in life and what that's been like for him. So, hey Sam, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you very much. So, can you tell us a little bit, where are you from originally?
So originally I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I was born and raised there. Yeah. And I lived there for about 21 years or so.
Okay.
Went to high school there. All my family and friends are still there.
Yeah.
Still keep in contact with them. And great place.
Yeah.
Great place. Really expensive. Just I don't know what I'd be doing there if I still lived there.
Okay.
City's completely changed ever since the 2010 Olympics came through. It changed the city.
Really?
Yeah, it was always growing, and everything just started building up. Big cities, they always go up and they go out, and it just wasn't for me. It really wasn't much.
Gotcha.
Everybody I know there is still roughly doing the same thing. Not so much paycheck to paycheck, but it's just here's your job. You're an accountant, or you work at the hotel and you just move up. You're a nurse, or that's what you do.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But life's good there. School system's great. I have my take on the medical system, which is good.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's socialized medicine," but it's a little different when you're younger living there. You didn't use the medical system too much, right? Being in the States, it's a little different.
Okay.
So I lived there till about 21, and my brother at the time, just a little background, he's in the movie industry, so
cool.
he was actually one of the original Ninja Turtles back in,
Cool.
I think, part 2 and
Excuse
3. Yeah.
So, okay, he was one of the original Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, he was
From-
Leonardo. He was in part 2 and part
What?
3.
That is so cool. So he worked with Ernie Reyes Jr.?
Correct.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Correct. Yeah. So what happened was, this is back in the 80s, right? Then, around when I was 21, I was working at the Holiday Inn, and I was actually working as a guest services representative at Mount Seymour. This is a snowboarding mountain in British Columbia.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so I would snowboard during the day, or work during the day, snowboard during lunch type thing.
yeah.
I had a free mountain pass, and then I would cruise to Holiday Inn and did my night bellman shift.
Yeah.
Bellman or guest services. I was
Okay.
kind of like, one of those guys in the hotel that had like 5 jobs.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
the maintenance guy, and then they call room service. I'm that guy, So it was really, it was fun times, especially during summer. We just made a lot of money. We made more money than the GM back then.
Tourism and all that. Yeah.
Tourism in Vancouver is crazy.
Yeah.
So I do miss that. That's my, besides high school and volleyball high school and working in a hotel, serving, bartending and serving. That was kind of all I remember in my early 20s.
Okay.
Well, early teens, actually. So 21, I moved to California because in San Jose, that's where my brother resided. He had his own martial arts studio, and of course you mentioned
Awesome.
Ernie Reyes Jr. They had a whole bunch of West Coast Tae Kwon Do studios there.
Okay.
So I was really involved in the martial arts scene back then.
Oh, awesome.
Ran the studio in California for my brother while he was out filming and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I didn't graduate college in Canada. I actually went to San Jose State in San Jose.
Okay.
And so I got my finance degree there.
All right, finance.
Yeah, and I just kind of taught martial arts, cardio, kickboxing. Kind of lived half my life there. So I moved to California when I was 21.
Yeah.
I left there when I was like 41-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I relocated here.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
Wow.
so while I was in California, I was doing both. I was kind of like teaching,
Yeah.
and then going from the fitness world to corporate. I worked for Yahoo, and then I went to Apple, and then I was there for a good 9 years, and then they relocated me here to Austin in 2019, and recently, actually a couple days ago, on the 13th, I just hit my 13-year at Apple.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so
Congratulations.
thank you. It's sometimes I'm like, I don't know, to be like, oh yeah, no, this is awesome. I hit 13 years. Then I'm also like, kind of, I don't know, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Yeah.
Am I just not good enough to get hired anywhere else? So I have mixed feelings about that when
Right,
people
yeah.
ask me, like, oh, that must be awesome. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have a weird reaction.
Yeah.
But some people are like, hey, own it. They love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But deep down inside, I'm like, maybe I wasn't motivated enough.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, is this what you wanted to do? Like, did you dream of being in finance?
Well, actually, I didn't do anything in finance.
Oh, okay.
Definitely not at Apple, but that's what I studied, and I hated it. And this
Yeah.
is, when I got my degree, I think it was, I graduated college late. So I got it in 2008, and that was during the financial crisis.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, not getting into this, right?
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So, and you had mentioned while the time you were in Canada, everyone was kind of just doing like the same things, sort of came off as like a little mundane to you. Did you have any like ideas about how you wanted to live your life in opposition to that or do something different? Or?
my parents were Chinese opera musicians.
Oh, wow.
Mom's a singer, dad's
Wow, that's awesome.
dad's a musician, and he had his own studio, and he taught all the Asian ladies, stay-at-home moms, how to sing, and they jam
Okay.
at night while they jam and like daytime job, and then jam at night, and then but I'm just playing volleyball or hanging out at my friend's house. So I
Okay.
didn't really, my household was very just kind of by ourselves, with my grandma type thing.
Okay.
Asian families normally all live together,
Uh-huh.
while everybody worked, and my parents socialized that night,
Okay.
So the family unit wasn't like your typical, dinner at 6 type thing.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I just did my own thing and hung out with my family, and hung out with my friends, and they were kind of my family. And I'm actually
Oh,
glad I hung out with the right people. We played volleyball together. I coach volleyball, and
Oh, cool.
I just stuck with the right people.
Yeah.
I'm sure there were some bad eggs here and there, but I could have gone the other direction.
Yeah,
It is a big city, and there's a lot of, drugs and gangs and whatnot. But luckily I grew up in the suburbs of Burnaby, BC, and really got involved with community coaching. Volleyball really saved me.
Oh,
In
that's
fact,
awesome.
that's what kept me in high school. So.
Wow.
Really? So
Yeah.
playing that sport?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and in fact, next weekend, my friends are all coming, and we all played volleyball together. We had a big golf trip.
That
but
is
we still keep in
awesome.
contact, and that's over 25 years
That's
ago,
great.
right? Yeah.
Heck
So,
That is so rare. I love
Yeah.
that because his friend group is very close and they've been
Yeah.
together
Yeah.
for many years.
yeah.
A little over 15 right now. So, yeah, we might be pushing
Yeah.
20 at this point. So
Yeah,
we're
and
getting there.
what really got us to maintain that relationship, we still, I always make a joke about this. We're like, hey, we're like the same. We just have more money.
Yeah.
It's true.
Great.
We're exactly the same. And, my friends' wives always, bagging on us, it's like, how do you guys have like any like self-esteem left? You guys like put each other down so much. I'm like, that's true.
Okay, I
You're
was
right.
like, oh.
Yeah, we do. But
Keeps you motivated.
yeah,
though,
but
right?
that's what you do when
pushing
you're
each other.
16, 17, right?
Yeah, that's
So-
good. I mean, yeah, that can have, like, as you were mentioning, that can have like a positive effect or a negative effect,
Yeah.
depending on how you take it and
Yeah.
handle it.
Depends on who you know, who you hang out with. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, so when you were working like at the hotel, you had mentioned snowboarding and all that. Were you thinking at the time like, how am I going to get out of this or anything like that, or were you just kind of set there for a while?
I must have been 18, 19 roughly-ish, 20, I made good money tip-wise.
Yeah.
It's huge tourism, so, I was kind of on my own early on when I was young anyways. I mean, just kind of like my parents let me do whatever I want because they were
Right.
never there. So,
Yeah.
so like I said, luckily I held on to some good friends with good family, and
Right,
they
right.
went to college, and I just kind of like latched onto that, but not
Okay.
really fully. Once everybody graduated, then I was like, oh crap, like, what do I do now? And
yeah.
I can't live the high school jock life anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
But I just worked, just lived by myself, and just kind of, bouncing between rental properties and just kind of doing my own thing at 18, and it was just normal for me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm so used to it since I was like 4, literally, right? But yeah, I loved snowboarding and just kind of didn't really have much direction. And then when my brother was there, he was filming a Ninja Turtles TV series at the time.
Okay.
And he moved to the States when he was 14, 15.
Oh, wow.
Really early.
By
like,
himself?
By himself.
Wow.
He was competing in martial arts. A guy by the name of George Chung in Los Gatos, California, kind of recruited him, and I was only like 6, 5 or 6. I remember him going out the back door, like the sliding door, and like, hey, see you later, with
it.
one duffel bag.
That moment.
It's the last time I saw him.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I was only 6, right?
Yeah.
But we kept in touch here and there, but not really. Then I was 18. He was filming. Hey, why don't you come down? And my son's born. Why don't you babysit for me? Right? I want to get babysat for him. And then we start talking. And he's like, hey, you know what? You should should come down to California and teach for me. Right? I'm like, and at this time I was just broken up with this girl. Or let me reverse that. She broke up with me. And I was like, am I allowed to swear on this channel?
Mostly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I gotta watch the F-bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, F it. That's basically what I said. I said F it, and then I just took one duffel bag
Yeah.
and went to California to visit.
Yeah.
And I was still working at the hotel, and I just loved it so much. This like California, riding in a convertible V-Dub bug, surfing, Santa Cruz, California type thing, right?
Yeah.
And I called my manager, and I'm giving you my notice.
Yeah.
And I stayed, and this is during the .com days, where I'm just, you're a 21-year-old kid, and you see everybody driving Ferraris, and, all this money because of the computer, .com days, right? And I just, what do I need to do to get there, right?
Right.
And this ties back to being in Canada and going like, okay, what am I going to do, right?
Yeah.
But once you're there, you see all these opportunities, and I think I've been one of those kids that's like, just I see an opportunity, and how do I do that? How do I get there, right?
Yeah.
So you got to go to school. All right. At that time, I had just gotten in a car accident. They paid me. They paid me a lump sum back in Canada, and I took that money and I just went, you know what? I'm ready to go back to college, or go to college at that time.
Okay.
And then I just went to college for a while. Most people would be doctors by then, but
Yeah.
I just
That's all right.
did different majors. Finally got my, ran through the gamut of like college
Yeah.
and teaching, and I made a lot of connections teaching, and just kind of just took it in stride and just went day by day, and just kind of like things got better,
And the teaching, it was a martial arts teacher?
Yeah, I taught Tae Kwon Do to kids and adults, and then cardio kickboxing to like house moms.
And so how long had you been doing martial arts for?
I probably since I was little. My dad actually taught kung fu.
Oh, really?
So I
Wow.
used to like take the bus for an hour to this Chinese. It looked like a ballet studio, but there was like there's like lion heads and weapons and but it wasn't an official school, but people trained there. So all the people that trained my brother or trained under my dad started training me.
Okay.
And I just did it as just a little kid running around with a weapon, right?
Yeah.
But my brother was really involved in it, so that's all he did. I was more like, I'll play volleyball, play basketball, martial arts, competed here and there. Probably like the smallest guy. Like in every tournament, I was like just a little 13, 14-year-old, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So
interesting. So then you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu now, right?
I do now. I started it back in 2017.
Okay, so that
I
was
had I've always done Taekwondo, right? And then
You have a black belt in Taekwondo?
I do.
Yeah.
And another a gentleman by the name of Aaron Singh who we trained together at Tae Kwon Do. He got really involved. He moved to LA, really got involved in Jiu-Jitsu. You know, he's a black belt under checkmat now.
Okay.
And he got me involved. He's like, hey, let's just roll. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Bought my first gi type thing. It was a show you roll, and I just, that's why I have a lot of like fetishes with like rash guards and gis and stuff. I just love them, right? I just think it's,
Yeah.
they're cool. And so I just started training then, but I was a white belt, didn't know what I was doing like everybody else, and still white belt. That was in 2017.
Okay.
Mid 2017, I think. So it's been like 5-6 years now, right? It's been almost 6 years, bro.
Yeah.
6 years. So, and my instructor, professor now was like, hey, you're like a 7-year white belt. You need to change the color, basically what he said.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I just decided to like, okay, I need to put some effort in this. You can't just, as you guys know, you can't just like do it.
Can't just show up.
You can't just
like,
show up,
here.
not be eating properly, sleeping properly, drinking, like hydrate, right?
Yeah.
It's just not one of those things you can get away with.
Yeah, it's grueling. It is. I mean, compared to like other martial arts, right? Especially Taekwondo. I did a little bit of Taekwondo when I was a child as well, probably like around 10, 11 years old. I did it for a few years, and then later on, I joined a Kung Fu school, did that for a few years, but now doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it's just a world of difference. I mean, just the physicality of it. I mean, can you speak a little bit on that? I mean, you've done so many years.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I moved down there, and that's for my brother's school and help him out, and nothing like working together with family. There's good and bad, right? The trust, but there's also the fights during Thanksgiving dinners. But it was really beneficial doing the martial arts, and it was great. Wasn't fully my thing, but it was good because I got to make the connections. It put me through college.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it was in one of the best places in the world, Los Gatos, California. That's where Netflix is. My last apartment was like right in their backyard.
Oh really?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, so it's just a different. Google's there, Apple's there, Facebook's there. And I met a lot of really cool people. I got married there, right? But for Jiu-Jitsu it's different because, not to knock on Taekwondo back then, but I wish I started Jiu-Jitsu a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like everybody else.
Everyone,
Yeah.
We definitely felt that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it never happened, so we're here now. So.
Right. I mean, there's no point in really thinking about it, but you still have that thought. You're just like, dang it, I should've done
But but that's a different thought than, I wish I would have invested in Google like 20 years ago. That one was not. This is like was attainable.
It was there.
Like it was there. It's like I was just doing a different art.
Yeah, I actually, so my Kung Fu instructor, he was a blue belt under Carlson Gracie, and so he just started teaching classes at his Kung Fu studio like every Saturday, just one class, and I did it a couple of times, but I don't know why, it didn't interest me. I was like, whatever, man, we can just, stay standing, it's fine. I don't think it's gonna ever go to the ground or anything like that. Right. And then, UFC blew up, and I was like, maybe not. I don't know. But then I kind of just got away from like martial arts in general because I was skateboarding. That was my thing.
Right.
So I was like, I'd rather just do this, man. Like just go skateboard, hang out with my friends. None of my friends really did martial arts either, so that was my thing. And I ran with that. But now, I don't know. We kind of just. I introduced you to
you introduced me
the
to
martial art itself, and then. I remember I had asked her, all right, show me what you got, essentially. Because, it's the city, in my opinion, is getting a little bit more dangerous, and, I worry about her a lot. So I was like, let's see what you got. How well can you defend yourself?
I thought I was doing well, and apparently I was not. He was like, you don't know anything. Yeah. We need to start classes.
And I was, going easy on you, too. And then, once we started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, oh, my God, I don't know anything either. I'm getting my butt kicked left and right.
I mean, first time when I first joined the new gym at Brazilian Fight Factory here in Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, first class, second class, I was strangled by this 16-year-old girl and put me in a triangle, and then I was like, in my mind, I'm like, wow, okay, don't tell anybody that you have a black belt in Tae Kwon Do.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt, and I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what, I need to get better at this, right?
Yeah.
So, but jiu-jitsu's been great for me because it's like we were mentioning, you have to, it's real, right? Like it doesn't get like, it's so relative to life that it's same thing like golf and jiu-jitsu. It's just like life, right? It's you have to dedicate, you have to commit.
Yeah.
Right. Now, commit's not like, okay, I'm going to train and I'm going to win tournaments and stuff. I don't mean by commit like that. It's more like it forces you to really face yourself and be honest with yourself.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
dude, you suck. How do you not suck? You keep going. Well, how do I keep going? Well, just show up.
Yeah.
Well, okay, how do you keep showing up? Well, you have to get good sleep. Okay, well, you have to hydrate. You have to eat. You have to, for me, for jiu-jitsu, I have to have my bag thing packed, ready to go the night before.
Oh, yeah.
If I don't do that and I show up late, I feel scrambled.
Yes.
I feel unprepared, and it shows on the mat.
Absolutely.
And I go, wow, that's just like life. If you're not prepared for a meeting at work, it's going to show.
Right.
It's the same thing, right? So, so that's what it's been. Even though teaching martial arts, it's like, yeah, you have the same philosophy. This is different. Like I'm living it now.
Right.
I'm like, I'm getting smashed by everybody, and I have no ego. I just white belts. It doesn't matter. Old, young, girl, guy. I get tapped out, and I continue on. I have no ego. I don't really care about the belts.
Right.
I'd rather be a really, really good white belt than like a crappy blue belt.
Right.
That's the worst for
Yeah.
me. Like
Yeah.
having that feeling I'm not good enough.
Right.
But then the instructors come in, they always balance you out, right? They always like, well, I get that, but it's not fair if you're a white belt and there's new white belts coming in and you have to move up too.
Right.
'Cause
That makes
otherwise they're
sense.
gonna be like, whoa,
Right.
it's gonna hold them back, right?
Yeah.
So I understand some of that stuff, but
Yeah. We actually, there was someone that was, I guess, a longtime friend of the owner of the gym that we go to. And remember, he got promoted after what, like
10 years?
10 years,
Oh,
something
no,
like that? 15, something
yeah.
like that?
promoted to what?
From blue belt.
To what? Black belt?
No, from
he was
white
from
belt to blue belt.
Oh,
He
it
just
was
got
10
promoted.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Got
actually
promoted to his blue belt.
started with the owner at the same time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it just there was apparently he had gone through a lot of struggles too in life, and he was training on and off a lot. But yeah, we had promotion day at our school, and he was just like made a big speech about it too, because he's like, this one's well deserved. It's been a long time coming. It's like we started training together, and he's a good friend of mine, and yeah, promoted to blue belt, and we were just like,
15
what
years.
the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I some people don't understand it, and I understand it because, personally, with jiu-jitsu and white to blue, for example, for me, I'm a very social person, and I love to go out to restaurants, and I love to go and drink, and I want everybody around me to drink because, I just want everybody to have fun. I'm a very social person, but that habit carried over for the last, since I moved to California. So I'm 45 now, so 23, 22 years roughly,
Okay, yeah.
maybe even more, maybe it's called 25 years, right? I just was always out partying and at the bars, and I know the bartender's name. I was a bartender myself, so I knew all the bartenders, and you just get in this habit of you're training, but you're not training.
Right.
Okay,
You're socializing. You're kind of hobbyist. Like,
Gotcha. Yeah.
I wear, I wear my gi and I roll here and there.
Yeah.
And then just most recently, I about 3 months ago, I decided to like, hey, you know what? Jiu-jitsu was a factor, and also my health. I was getting really stomach issues from drinking wine. I love red wine, and stomach issues, and I was getting like psoriasis. You know how your skin, and I thought it was just like, oh, it's hereditary or something like that, right? But I just woke up one day. It was like right around May 31st. Not woke up one day, but that particular day, I decided, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to. I need to get back to jiu-jitsu, which is always on the back of my mind.
Right. Yeah, it's always there.
Yeah, it's always there, and I always see it. Yeah, it's always on my bill every month that I see it.
That too,
But I don't go.
Yeah.
But I just decided, you know what? I'm just gonna start training. I'm gonna. There wasn't like a master plan. It was just like, I don't want to drink anymore. Financially, it's just wow, the amount of money I'm spending on eating out, drinking, and not just eating out like a nice steak for me. It was like out eating. I'm ordering all the stuff for all my friends or me, but I'm not eating it. I'm just drinking the wine, right?
Okay.
I'm ordering the nice wine, and then and I just started realizing, like, what am I doing? Like, I don't have any kids. I just got my dog Max. I don't have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. So it was easy to just go, do the bachelor thing, right? But then I was like, you know what? I need something's gonna change. And then ever since that, I just kind of cut out just drinking the wine. Just have no craving for it anymore. I was training, and then my only motivation right now, and it sounds weird, it's like, okay, I got to get to class Monday and Wednesdays.
Okay.
And then in order to do that, well, I can't be watching football Sunday night and drinking, because tomorrow I say I'm going to go, I'm not going to go. Too hungover, too dehydrated, right? And then, because as you guys know, if you're dehydrated, you're probably done after the first 30 seconds of the warm-ups, right?
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't feel good.
It
It doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And I was just so sick of getting smashed.
Right.
And then, but as I started to do that transition where I stopped drinking, and I was just eating. And when you stop drinking, you crave the sugar.
Yeah.
And so I'm just having like 6 ice cream sandwiches, a couple of creamsicles on top of that after a big steak, and I'm just like,
bulking face.
I was just putting on weight, I
Yeah.
was putting on I was really skinny. My pants were like, I had to like cinch up, and shirts went like, I looked like a coat hanger, like, but then I started like eating more and eating more and eating more. And it was just helping me get the weight and the energy to get to class. Yeah, and then one thing I realized, my legs were waking up really, really tight and sore every morning. I figured it out. I'm training more, but I'm not drinking enough water, so I was dehydrated.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to get 2 big bottles in every day, glass before I go to bed, and now it's been better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but my doctor couldn't figure it out, but then I'm like, maybe I'm not drinking enough water, and I'm training out so much, but I'm not replenishing myself.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, was it like, is the glucosamine that I've been taking, is that doing it, right? What is it, ice cream sandwiches maybe? I don't know.
Excess of sugar.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, You don't do any of the like electrolyte supplements?
I do. I do. I take like noon these tablets. I just throw it in, and I was doing it like before I play a round of golf. I pop one in there, and it kind of loosens you up. But but it's good for jiu-jitsu too.
Right. Yeah. I found that when we started liquid IVs, it was for maybe like a week or so. It kind of replaced the coffee. I thought that was really interesting. Like, it would wake me up a little bit, and I would just feel better. I'd feel energized. I'm like, oh wow, that's crazy. But then I guess you just kind of adapt to it and get used to it. So I'm sure it still benefits me, because if I don't have it, then it's a rough
feels
day.
a little different.
Because it's
that extra hydration.
it's like instant hydration. Honestly, not having to drink as much water. Liquids and stuff.
I mean, that's work in itself, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
All the bathroom trips.
Oh yeah.
Having to get up from my desk constantly, like people wondering, like, where's he been? Yeah.
That's awesome.
But so you've been working on like diet and hydration mainly now.
I wouldn't say diet. I mean, I've always eaten like pretty healthy, like steak and potatoes, kind of veggies.
It's like natural foods.
Just natural, chicken.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, fish, but it wasn't so much, for me, it was like, okay, just eat, because I wasn't eating, I just never, ever since I was a little kid, I never ate breakfast, maybe a little snack at lunch, maybe one meal a day. Hence, that's why I'm so small, right? I just didn't grow,
And you were never like really hungry? You didn't have much of an appetite, huh? Yeah, wow,
No,
that's-
yeah, and even when I played a lot of volleyball,
Yeah.
a lot when I was in college. I mean, and when I was in high school, even in after high school. But
yeah.
I don't remember having like meals like to eat before.
Wow.
I don't remember like
Yeah.
I don't remember eating that much. Maybe Subway sandwiches, maybe.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I've always been one that's like hyper focused on diet for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. But I guess it was always like stress in my household. Like, okay, you have to eat like 3 times a day. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Always got to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, get it in. And that kind of just stuck with me. But then when I went to college, I started doing like a health field, and I started getting into the nitty gritty of it. And that was honestly, that was just more stressful for me, trying to figure it out. Like, what's
Yeah.
the best way to eat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And eventually kind of just figured out like, well, just make sure you feel good, don't overdo it, and try to keep it as natural as possible. That seems to work out pretty well.
Nice.
But it's hard for me. I still struggle with like wanting to go get like a burger and fries or pizza, stuff like that. Let me ask you this because you said you would like to go out and have drinks and whatnot like that. So was it hard for you to really cut that out? Like, did you have really hard cravings for alcohol or anything?
Not really, because what I've been doing is, and this is not, I'm not sponsored by them, but Athletic Brewery makes this non-alcoholic beer.
Oh.
They have like 3-4 types, and my realtor introduced me to it. She was like, my husband started drinking this, and I went and bought it at HEB, and I just started drinking it. It just tastes like beer.
Oh, wow.
So I've been kind of using that as like, that's what I drink now. If
Right.
I'm watching football or if I'm at a social event, I just buy a case of those, or golf.
Yeah.
I used to
That's a
just,
big
that's
one.
my thing, is like, go golfing, have a Coors Light. A couple of guys, hey, let's have a shot of Fireball. I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of stupid. I'm trying to shoot well here.
Yeah, right.
But that's the thing to do, right? Golfing is,
Yes.
It's so interesting.
Yeah.
I never really realized that because I did disc golf for a long time. And in that community, drinking was real big because you're just out there,
Yeah.
It's public parks, but, people are just like
Right.
downing them and of course smoking too and all that. And we're just kind of like having fun, real laid back, whatever. But I never realized that was also in like what they call ball golf
Yeah.
in the disc golf community,
the founders.
Right.
Well, there's a lot of like things that people do, and that's just a regular thing that happens as drinking. Like it's just accompanied with it.
Yeah. It's so normalized and, just, accepted, It's-
And that's what I notice. I mean, the drinking culture in the States is a little different. It's much more available. For example, in Canada, you can't just go to 7-Eleven and buy beer.
Really?
You can't go to Safeway if you had one here, or HEB, to buy, they don't sell it there. You have to, back then, you have to go to like state or BC liquor to go get like specific, and it was really expensive. So you can't just
really?
get it at a gas
Wow.
station.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very, very controlled, and I
Yeah.
noticed that. But in the bars, yeah, of course, right? Like,
yeah.
And the Canadian beer is actually the percentage is a little higher. But I started drinking, just I worked in a hotel after work, just grab a brew at the bar, you get your shift drink, and then you go to a different bar, and you just kind of, that was my, beginning phase of drinking. But after moving to the States and being in a bar, and how the Americans drink, right? Like football and
yeah.
Thanksgiving, it's just like, it's very, very heavily revolves around drinking.
Right.
And then you move to Austin, I'm like, okay,
It's everywhere.
it's even worse, right?
Yeah.
Because then you're like, you got festivals, you got,
That's so true. A lot of
Yeah.
the events that they hold are like centered around drinking, really.
everything's
It's
around
like,
drinking.
Hey, we got a tent, we're selling beer, and there's a park, like go hang out or something. Let's
everything.
call it something,
Yeah.
I don't know, catchy.
and even here, it's like some people, I didn't know this, but they're like, hey, you want a beer? And you're in a car, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, it's Texas. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's wild. That's everywhere. I mean, I was a heavy drinker, mostly like on the weekends. I never did it like as an everyday thing, but I was the same. Like I would love the social aspect behind it. I loved going to the bar. I got to know the bartenders. They got to know me, and they would always give me like discounts and stuff. Because I would go like they would bet on me like being there. Early in the day, on the weekend,
Yep.
just someone to hang out with.
Yep.
I had a drinking buddy there with me all the time, and I always, and in those days, I always admired like the bartender lifestyle, as you were mentioning earlier, how like you know all of the bartenders on the block or whatever, and then after work you go and grab a beer somewhere else, hang out, you know, just shoot the shit or whatever.
Yeah.
I always admired that. It always seemed so much fun to me, but
Yeah, seems like they have freedom and there's so much like camaraderie and so much socializing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it looks appealing.
yeah.
And then you go through it and you're like, oh, this is kind of harmful. Like, this hurts a little.
I mean, I never got to know, so I was only there on the weekends, you know, and then I'd go to work, and you know, for me, my hangover would last the entire week, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would just be low energy, I'd be miserable and
Yep.
grumpy, you know, and I didn't realize it was because I was drinking so much on the weekends, you know.
Yeah.
And so I had stopped drinking though by the time we started jiu-jitsu, so that was kind of helpful, you know. I didn't have to make that
I
transition.
don't know what
but
that would have felt like. It would have. I don't know if you would have.
yeah, I mean, with the age too, especially. I'm 34 now, but you know, I stopped when I was around what 30. 31, you know, yeah, but even then I was just like, man, I have like no energy whatsoever, and I can only imagine, what it would be like now. But even then, even after not having drank for however many years, it's like the rest is so important too. Like we
Sleeping.
need so much rest.
Yes.
It is amazing because I mean you completely exhaust yourself in class, especially if you're doing like live rolls with people, you know, and then like. The first week, I had broken a rib. I don't know if
Yeah,
I've ever
it's
told
very
you.
personal.
No.
Because I got smashed pretty good, and someone laid on me the next day just in side control, and it hurt so. They were just laying on me, and I was like, oh my god! I was like, I think I broke a rib.
Yeah.
Pretty sure I broke a rib. And I mean, just all the other little pains, you know, that you have when you first start. Like your body's not used to that. It's just like a shock, you know.
Yeah. And strategically, I had to, you know, I used to train in San Jose at Kyle Terrace School out in downtown San Jose. And one of the owners there, Nick, he was like, hey, just come 2 times a week. You can do jiu-jitsus forever if you just come 2 times a week. And I really didn't understand what he meant.
Right.
But I think what he meant was, as a hobbyist, you can do this forever.
Yeah.
You know, you're not competing, just come Monday, Wednesdays.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that philosophy to here, and I'm like 2 times a week. Now I get it because your body needs to recover.
Yeah.
I'm not as young as these guys, you know,
Right.
and they're training 2-3 times a day. They're doing ice baths and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, you know, I recently started doing restore therapy, the wellness. You know, Karina, you were there. You know, I do the leg compressions and the cryotherapy and the local therapy, just because I was getting hurt.
Right.
But that's been helping, and I just really started ever since I stopped drinking. I really started to focus on the wellness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like what can I eat better?
Yeah.
You know, what does red light therapy do, right? And I just started taking vitamins. You know,
Right. Yeah. I mean,
trying to do the healthy. And the honest truth is, I'm bored. You know, because I used to spend a lot of times at bars and restaurants and football and at home, you know, and at friends' house barbecues.
Yeah.
Drinking was a big part of my life.
Yeah.
You know, outside of work, right?
Right.
So now it's like filling that time or
Yes.
occupying
Yes.
your mind.
Yes. And it's been good because at the very beginning, it was hard to. I'm bored. I'm bored out of my mind. But as I started doing jiu-jitsu, I met new people. I started playing more golf. I ride my motorcycle, and I'm taking Max out for a walk now. He gets multiple walks. So I'm actually not as bored as I think.
Yeah.
And then I'm tired. So then by 9:30, 10 o'clock, I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm in bed.
It's time for bed.
And then I'm up at the domain,
Yeah.
but it's like 8 a.m. in the morning having coffee.
Yeah.
And staring at the bars I used to look at.
Wow.
Like, or remember, or maybe
Yeah.
not remember, and just kind of like, I'm so glad I'm staring at this bar at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
versus staring the other way at
Right.
2 a.m. Right?
Yeah.
So it keeps me, you know, you're back to your original question, like, what about your cravings and stuff? I go, I don't. I just,
Yeah.
just
Good.
looking back, I'm just kind of like, the amount of drinking or the money I spent has turned me off from that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so I don't even have a craving. And it's funny, you know, in terms of alcohol, it's like you really think about it. It's if someone told you like, hey, this apple's bad for you, you would die from this apple.
Right.
You know, you'd be like, well, I'm never having an apple again, right?
Yeah.
But if someone told you like, hey, drinking's bad for you, Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you still drink, right?
It feels good.
It's just weird. It's just because one has marketing behind it.
Yeah.
Apple doesn't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, the Apple
The marketing
orange.
is so good, man.
Yeah,
I will
it's
give it to
society.
them. I'll give it to them. Like, it just looks like such a good time, and it is
Yeah.
honestly. Like to this day, I still think it. You know, like I would have a blast. The
Yeah.
times that I remember.
Yeah.
But then it's like you sort of erase all the pain that you go through because you're like, but I was having such a good time, you know.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be hungover for like a week, or you
Yeah.
know, what was it like training for you during all that time? Did you get a lot of injuries because you know you were still drinking for the majority of the time you were
For jiu-jitsu?
yeah, or even taekwondo.
Well, it was, you know, it was, I guess the best analogy is you can always go to college and get A's and graduate college with an A, you know, but you can also get a degree with a C too.
Yeah.
So I think my martial arts career was
go.
like up until was like, okay, I'm doing it,
Right.
but I'm not doing it to my best of my
Yeah,
ability,
yeah.
right? There was a time when I was competing and I was training a lot and I didn't drink, and that's when I got better. That's when I excelled.
Okay.
But I think, you know, wasn't going anywhere with that.
Yeah.
And then after college and stuff, I was kind of like, okay, just hang out, socialize, you know, meet girls,
Yeah.
you know, my
Get out there.
ex-wife and I used to train together all the time. She was super healthy and
Oh,
she
wow.
was very disciplined, but there was one day where she would go and bounce the wall and drink, and that's it. But
Yeah.
the other day she's training and
Oh, wow.
yeah, but then me, I was like, I wasn't that disciplined. I just drank whenever I want.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Did drinking ever get in the way of the relationships that you had? So you've been married before, but you're no longer married. You're not seeing anyone right now.
Yeah, with my first with my ex-wife, yeah, we drank together. I think we got married young, and we were just really the best of friends. Great relationship, training and cycling together, and things were great. We were young, you know, life was good. But I think we started growing apart, and back then I think I was just 30s, early 30s, immature, you know, just getting out of college and just didn't. I was working at Yahoo. That was a big drinking culture too. So
Really?
yeah, we just
Wow.
grew apart. We didn't have the same vision. I think we just got married too young.
Yeah.
You know, she's great now. She lives in, I believe, somewhere in Santa Barbara area, married to another gentleman and has 2 beautiful daughters. You know, I was keeping in touch with her because we split. It was bad in the beginning, but you know, I was, you know, maybe I wasn't that great of a husband, but I didn't need to be a bad ex-husband, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I was keeping in contact with her. We had, you know, a little closure discussion. Things were good, you know, and then just probably like, I would say like maybe the last 2-3 years, even 4 years now. I haven't spoken, like we just cut ties. We just,
Yeah.
she kind of stopped talking to me. It was really abrupt, and I couldn't really put my finger on what happened. I can guarantee you I didn't do anything because it was just, I haven't seen her in years, right? Maybe her life got busy, or maybe she realizes, oh, maybe I shouldn't be talking to my ex-husband when I have a current husband.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's possible.
I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. I still keep in contact with her dad, and occasionally I
wow.
talk to her mom.
Yeah.
So she's doing good. That's all I really care
That's
about.
great.
Yeah.
As long as she's doing good. You know, obviously, if she ever reached out to me, if she ever sees this podcast, contact me. Number's still the same. But I would always absolutely, you know, catch up with her. But I'm sure she's got her own reason, and it doesn't
Yeah.
bother me. You know, it's not. It's most of the time when things happen like that, it's probably not me.
Okay.
Everybody's got their own thing, right?
Right,
So,
absolutely. I
Yeah,
mean,
you never know.
Yeah, and that's just kind of the way things naturally tend to go, right? I mean, people they change over time and sort of just drift away. And it's not necessarily, it doesn't have to be anything negative necessarily, right? It could just be natural order of things.
that's the way life. You know,
Yeah.
I've learned to accept things change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Change.
Yeah. So, but no, didn't alcohol never really played a part in any of that necessarily?
I mean, I can't recall, but I'm sure it does in some form, because we were, you know, just after college days. I mean, everything was about drinking.
Yeah.
Everything was about after. There's a party here. There's a dinner here. There's a barbecue here. There's
Yeah.
a pool party here. it's always been about drinking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
just
unfortunately.
yeah, smashing Coors Lights. I mean, my ex-wife, she can shotgun a beer like no one can.
Yeah.
I'll put money on her against any dude in college, and she will like shotgun way faster than they can.
Yeah. That's funny. I mean, yeah, that made me realize, like, I mean, drinking it's even glorified here, you know, like if you can shotgun a beer,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
an achievement, or
Yeah.
you can do like a beer bong or something. Everyone's just like rooting you on.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it is.
And you know, and you tie that you asked me about relationship and dating. You know, this is one of those things that's also playing in the back of my mind too, right? Like, you know, meeting people, and well, you know, my mind's telling me, well, maybe you should drink because you're dating. Then you'll meet more people, or you'll be cool if they think you're cool if you drink. You know, like I have these conversations with myself, but in my mind, I'm like, it's not that I can't drink. I just choose not to drink because I know what I need to get done in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Or I know what I need to do for work, or you know, because you know, drinking causes anxiety.
yeah.
Work gives you anxiety, and if you drink, it'll give you
more.
more anxiety. It's just a vicious cycle that I just wanted to break.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that makes
Absolutely.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so right now, a lot of your focus is jiu-jitsu and work.
Jiu-jitsu, work, always there.
Yeah, and then just staying
My
healthy.
dog, staying healthy. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not getting any younger, and I just don't want to have some liver problem or psoriasis, or you know, I was getting really bad stomach issues, like acid reflux.
Oh yeah.
It'd be so bad where I'm hunched over, where I need to go to the hospital. Like it was
my
so
gosh.
bad. Like it's just, you know, it just all of a sudden stress would cause,
Yeah,
and it just
exactly,
and
yeah.
it'd just be so painful. I
set
can't
off.
talk. I can't stand. I can't.
Wow.
I can't go to the bathroom. It just like I'm like in a fetal position. I'm Pepto or Zantac or whatever.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
need the Tums, and it just come from nowhere. And I eat a lot of spicy food too.
Oh, okay.
But you know, ever since I stopped drinking, you know, I just kind of went, like the skin issues got better, the stomach got better. I've never had a acid reflux issue.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So it definitely wasn't the spicy food. Probably wasn't healthy.
I
at the
still
time.
eat spicy
Yeah.
food,
Yeah.
so and I'm aware of it though, because
Okay.
I'm like, okay, careful, that could,
Yeah.
you know,
You're just managing it a little.
yeah,
bit
and
more.
I think if you mix that with beer and wine, it's like,
Yeah.
okay, never mind.
Yeah,
You know,
it's definitely not a good combination.
yeah, and I just stomach, but I just don't want to have any stomach issues. You know?
Yeah, no,
It's the
definitely
worst.
No, it makes sense. That's great. So, did you have any pushback from like people around you? Because I was thinking when you were talking about like dating and going out and meeting people, I know that there's sometimes like a stigma to like, oh, you don't drink, or if you do want to meet people, you know.
You know, I kind of took a break from the dating thing. You know, I was on Hinge,
Okay.
which they should call that app Unhinged, by the way.
You've had bad experiences, I take
Yeah,
it.
you know, online dating's tough. I'm more of a
Yeah.
I'm more of a organic. Meet someone at the bar. I'm
Yeah.
more social that way.
It is a dying art, apparently. So I hear.
Yeah, it is. But you know, online dating, I just don't feel like it encompasses me, and it's not fair to who I am.
Ah,
You know, I'm not a good writer. I don't like, okay, you want me to do a blurb about myself and a couple
Yeah.
of photos, and then I gotta get the lighting right. No, this
Right.
is me.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to meet me at my purest form.
Yeah.
Right? Which is normally at a bar. You know, but I'm starting to realize I don't have to be drinking to be who I am. In fact, a lot of people that know me well, that see me drink, they actually like me not drinking better.
Really?
They like, you know, and then they like the pre-drunk Sam, right?
Yeah.
So, and then so I have to have positive self-talk to myself. Like, listen, this is important to me because look how much better I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, I have access to myself now. I'm able to give myself to more of my friends, right?
Right, yeah.
And I'm doing all these fun things
Hey.
and I'm remembering, you know, and
Taking it all in.
yeah, and I have to remember that. And if someone, because of what they're going through, feels that, well, that doesn't cut it for me, then I'm okay with that. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
hey, then you know, good luck. You know, like, doesn't bother me.
Right.
Does it bother me internally? Sometimes, right? Because you want to give yourself the best shot as possible, right?
Yeah.
And before, drinking and being social, people pleasing was my way of well, this will give me a better shot
Oh, okay.
of having people like me, right?
Right.
Whereas right now, I'm actually really trying to work on myself.
Yeah.
In fact, I met someone on Hinge this morning.
Nice.
All right. Good
And
timing.
yeah, we
We got a
just
story.
yeah, no, we just we're just texting and I know from online dating, I don't do it often, but online dating, you're not supposed to text forever like a pen pal,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like,
I've never agreed with that, honestly.
Yeah, same.
So-
I'd much rather do that.
yeah. So then I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm just gonna say, hey, how are you doing? Like, hey, you want to meet up and like take our dogs for a walk and
Right.
grab coffee? She's like, sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that worked.
Awesome. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, because I mean, in the end, it's like, well, what are we doing here? Are we just gonna like text all day? Every
Well,
other
I
day?
didn't even bring that up. I just
right.
And then I mean, here's my number. She goes, actually, here, let me give you mine. She goes,
Yeah.
just give me mine. I'm like, all right. I'm like,
Yeah.
And then we're both walking our dogs, and I just called her.
That's awesome.
And then we just started talking.
I love
And
that.
she was a really, really sweet person. She's a teacher, and she sounded really, really nice on the phone. Like the fact she'd pick up and like, hey, and we just like as if I'd known her for like
Yeah.
years. And it was funny because she has Blue Bubble, which means she has an iPhone. She just ordered the new iPhone.
We had that conversation
And she,
earlier.
yeah. And so like she likes John Mayer, country music. I'm like, wow, check. You know,
Nice.
she's like, do you have any red flags? I'm like, I've got a good job, great medical. My Uber rating is 4.87.
There you go. Uber
I
ratings.
think you're fine, right? So yeah, we'll probably end up meeting up. But I told her, oh, I'm doing a podcast today, and then my friends are coming in for golf next week. I'm going to the FC game tonight, but we'll see if we'll make it work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I that was something new that I never would have done before, because I would sit there and just text, and then I'd like, do you want to maybe? No, I'm just, you know what? I'm 45. I don't have time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
do you want to? I mean, we're not on this app to meet a baking buddy, you know.
Right.
Like, so, but it was honest and good experience. And it actually made me
Yeah.
kind of happy driving down here for
Yeah.
some reason.
Yay.
Sounds really great. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, and not a lot of people have like that kind of first good feelings, you know, or it doesn't last very long because you never know what's going to happen after that. But that sounds like a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not, you know, this turns out, or, I mean, I liked the banter. I liked her. She was pretty witty, and I liked that.
Nice.
And I just, it was easygoing.
Yeah.
Easygoing. I think she was like roughly my age, 46-ish, 45. Yeah, so.
Yeah. I wonder.
But she drinks. I know she drinks because she mentioned it. But I didn't say anything yet. I told her, oh yeah, we talk about drinking, but I didn't mention anything yet because I don't want to. I guess the term is take myself out of the game first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want her to get to know me first, hear my side of the story,
Right.
before she passes judgment. Not that she would, but she could.
There's
And
a
then
chance,
there's
yeah.
a chance that
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always think to myself, like, okay, when's the right time to bring this up? You know, especially if I'm starting to like talk to new people, hang out, they want to go do something. It's like, all right, when do I tell them? You know, I actually use it immediately though. I used it immediately with my coworkers because they wanted to go out to the bar, hang out after work, and I was like, oh no, I don't drink. I can't. Sorry, I didn't want to go.
I mean,
yeah.
I'll still go, but I drink those non-alcohol beers. There's still
Yeah.
a small percentage of alcohol in there, right? So if you have 9 of them, it's probably like, you know, equivalent to Coors Light. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they're still like prepared the same way, right, with the hops and all that. It's just
I'm not sure, but I mean, if you, let's say you get pulled over, you still smell like you've been drinking beer.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to be careful.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had a like a non-alcoholic whiskey or something like that one time, and that was interesting. I've never really been a fan of the flavor itself, but I mean, mentally it did like take me back there. But then after a few sips, I was just kind of like, oh, this is gross. Like, what am I doing? Why am I even drinking this? I could just have water, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And the relationships, you know, with the relationship with when someone, you know, asks you like, wait, so are you not drinking, or
Yeah.
are you ever not gonna drink? And I can never answer that question because I'm not a fortune teller, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have an 8 ball in front of me, like,
Yeah.
or a crystal ball, not an 8 ball, but I always tell them, like, I don't know if I'll ever drink again.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I know I'm not drinking today. And then now I'm following up with, like, I don't want to because I don't have a craving for it.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why I would.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell you exactly why I feel this way. I just don't. It's just like, it's like me asking you, hey, you want to go eat a big ass steak right now? And you're like, no, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, right.
Right?
When's the next time you're gonna do that?
Yeah, when's the next time you're going to have a big ass steak?
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, for me, it was
interesting.
something similar. It was like, I only drank to get drunk. That was the only reason I would
You know
drink.
what?
Yeah.
Yes, sometimes, depending on what I'm going on with my life, right? I've got a lot of skeletons or demons in my head, that might have even stemmed from alcohol, or I don't know, it's just chicken or egg that came first, right? There's a lot of stuff in my past that maybe we'll get episode 2, maybe we'll go into that. But there's
Sounds
a lot
juicy.
of, there's a lot of stuff that could have made me, it could be some mother issues, it could be some ex-fiance issues, there could be some, abandonment issues, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that could be, I'm not saying that was the catalyst to drinking to get drunk, right? But it could stem from that. I don't know. I've done a lot of therapy myself with marriage therapists,
Oh, excellent.
professional, work therapists.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it. It's just, the brains is just like another organ if it's broken,
Right.
which sometimes mental illness or whatever, mental health, you need you got to go to somebody to look at it, right? And I've always been a big fan of that.
Yeah.
Just
That's
talking it through
That's good, yeah.
and it's been helping,
Yeah.
and
That's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that that's becoming a lot more accepted, to go get yourself checked out,
Yeah.
mental-wise, because before that I feel like there was a huge stigma
Oh, absolutely.
with it. I don't know if it was the same in Canada, but here in the States, people were just like, no, why would you go do that? That's silly.
I back then I was so much younger, so I'm not sure. Like, I'm sure there's a stigma behind it, but I think every couple that's about to get married, please go see therapy.
Yeah.
Go seek therapy, talk about finances, how many kids you want, how do you want to raise them? Talk about
Yes.
all that.
That's a big
Yes.
one. Yeah,
Huge.
Absolutely.
Like who handles what? Like what's allowed, what's not allowed.
Right.
And I think it's awesome that if you can go to do that, or some people, they go to church, they go talk with the pastor or whatever, same thing. But
Right.
I think that's highly beneficial. I wish I did that, because if we did that, I wouldn't have been married.
There you go. Plain and simple, huh?
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, I think it's more common with the churches for sure, but
Yeah,
I think,
true.
I mean, it always comes down to the individual though, right? Whether or not they're willing to put in that work and effort, and whether or not they're open to the self-realization of like, maybe this isn't right for me
Right.
after all, they're not stubborn about it and be like, no, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm gonna do.
Well, you hit it.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned there's a key word. You said the word work.
Yeah.
It is work.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I joke about this all the time with this analogy, but I view marriage as it's like working for a nonprofit. Right?
Okay.
There's a lot of work. There's no pay.
Nope.
Right? You got to keep doing it. You got to
Yeah.
keep because you want to. Right?
Yeah.
And it's work. And in this stage of my life, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not willing to do it because I've been married. Right now, I've been
Yeah.
married. I just feel very jaded from several relationships, and I was just like, I'm just working on me.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
me and my dog Max. I love him to death. I'll give him anything he wants.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And if I can find a partner that's okay with that, maybe at the same space, I'm good with that
That's
too.
awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's so important, especially the fact that you are okay with it, because a lot of times I feel like people would view that as being very selfish or, not, I don't know, helpful to anyone else or whatever the case might be. But I think that's super important that you accept it and that's what you're doing, and you're not harming anyone and you're only trying to benefit yourself. And in turn, you're going to benefit the other people around you with your relationships later on,
Yeah.
currently.
And if you don't know me that well, and you don't know me that well, but the people that know me, I'm a very giving person and a people pleaser. I'll give you everything, right? And this is the first time in my life I'm actually being selfish.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the weird
go.
thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's weird because it's hard for me. You know, I'm trying to act on the advice that everybody's been telling me now, and I'm actually doing it, right? And actually, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
You know, it's just awesome to just like, oh wow, I get to just say no and not do it and
Right.
just stay
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
You know,
That
it
is.
takes
gonna go to class
practice.
tomorrow.
Yeah. It's liberating
Heck
actually.
yeah, that's awesome.
Because you're, you know, giving too much of yourself, and what's left.
And you don't have any for
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah, also learning.
Spread out.
Yeah, also learning that I give so much, and then when I don't get what I want, I get mad at the other person for it. And realistically, it's my fault too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
So I agree 100% with that.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and some people don't get that. They,
Yeah.
you know, and I have to recognize that and apologize if I get mad, like, hey, I didn't get what I want. Yeah, but you did it though, you know, things like
Right.
that.
Is it hard to like realize, like, when you should be doing something for yourself, like being a people pleaser, to now, you
Yeah.
know, doing things for yourself?
It's hard to realize because it's a natural thing for me. It's easy to be giving.
Yeah.
That's how I'm built, right? I have to stop myself. I have to go, you know, there's still lingering situations that I'm upset about, but I realize that's my fault. You allowed that to happen,
Okay.
Sam.
Yeah.
So there's still residual stuff happening that's kind of like ending, and then I'm starting a new chapter type thing, and I'm learning better ways to say, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
So, and it's no hard feelings, right? It's
Exactly.
just me
Yes.
really, hey, you don't have to help everybody, you know?
Yeah.
It's me, the self-talk, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I've never seen anything wrong with that, and I do know through experience that people will take advantage of you.
Oh.
Like you give them an inch, and you know they take
Totally.
the whole 9 yards, and you're just like, okay, well, that's what I get for trying to be nice or
Right.
whatever, you know.
And the flip side of that is you have to realize, well, I don't understand how people can take advantage of you, or how I don't understand how people can be like that.
Yeah.
It's like you have to flip that and go, they're probably thinking, I don't understand how people can be so nice.
Right. Right.
Like just as how you can't comprehend that, they can't comprehend that either.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have to realize that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
a really
didn't
good
think
take.
of that.
Yeah, we've
Yep.
got to mirror it.
Yep.
I honestly, I don't give people the benefit of the doubt in those scenarios because I just think like, well, they're not even considering anything at all. They're just
Right.
trying to see what they can
Because
get.
they're not built like that.
Yeah.
They're not thinking that way
Right.
at all.
Yeah, yeah. It's constant battle, right? I mean, and self-realization goes a long way because I mean, we're all human, right? And we do share a lot of the same behaviors and characteristics and traits and the way our brain processes information and whatnot. So I think that's a really important aspect to life is to be able to like mirror someone else's experience, you know, or try to do that to the best of your ability to
Yeah.
try to understand where they're coming from, you know. Because yeah, I mean we're all really going through the same thing, but just in various ways, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So is that like empathy, like experiencing empathy?
I suppose yeah, I guess you could sum it up into empathy, you know. Yeah. But you always gotta be mindful though and take care of yourself. In my opinion, I think you always gotta take care of yourself first though.
Yeah.
Because if you can't take care of yourself, then you can't really take care of others.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's 100% true.
Yeah.
It's just hard to put in practice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right? You know what's right, but it's hard to do the right thing.
Yeah. Oh
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that goes in so many ways, huh?
I know, yeah. I mean, just as you were saying earlier, how like you've been getting all this advice, you know, over the years, and now you're finally putting it into practice.
Finally. Right? Because nothing
Better
else
late
has
than
worked.
never, yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better late than never. Yeah.
And now, and you have, luckily, you have all that wisdom now that you can just, you know, you're like, all right, I know which way this is gonna go, or which way it most likely will go. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So there's a huge benefit in that, you know, I think.
So now you're doing things that you love. You're playing golf. You're doing jiu-jitsu, and you're gonna do a volleyball game, right? Is that what you said?
I recently, the restore place I go to, they started a league every Tuesdays now, or starting on the
Cool.
30th. They're gonna start play like a co-ed tournament down at Ozzy's, I think.
Oh yes.
It's
Uh-huh.
it's a bar slash
By the
restaurant.
Oh, that's what we
They
read
got
about.
the-
Yeah,
sand
yeah,
courts.
sand courts. So
Yeah.
I used to play a lot of volleyball. I haven't played in years. So that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, are you excited about that?
Not really. I'm excited to play, but my eyesight's gotten bad, so I can't really see the ball until it passes the net.
Oh, wow.
And by that time,
It's already at
it's
you.
physics. It's too late.
You got to get some sunglasses, right? That can.
I need to get some contacts.
Contacts?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be nighttime, so
Oh, okay.
Oh.
All right.
so I can still wear my normal glasses,
Yeah.
but it's just I need to.
Just get knocked out probably or something.
Yeah, I need to get a headband for it or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so outside of that, are you doing any other like exercise in regards to fitness or anything like that?
No, I mean I've got a rower at home.
Yeah.
Just normal core workouts at home, push-ups and stuff. I'm not a really big gym guy. I don't have motivation to do
Yeah,
that. I go to jiu-jitsu. Yeah, it's boring. I'd rather be jiu-jitsu, right?
Doing something, yeah.
Yeah, I'm there at like 2. I'm sorry.
Being active.
Yeah, just being active.
Yeah.
2 to 3 times a week. I'll do a private here and there just to understand some of the stuff we're supposed to learn for our
Yeah.
next test. I just want to be prepared just in
Yeah.
case I have to do it in front of people or
Right.
I just want to do it well. I don't want to just
Yeah.
half-ass it, right?
Do you know when your testing's going to be? Or
I heard it's going to be in November. So sometime in November.
Oh, so that's something. If we can get into it real quick. So for you train in the gi, right?
Yeah.
And so they still test for belt promotions.
Yes.
Yeah. Because at least at the gym that we go to, there's really none of that. They kind of just
no.
like.
Yeah, no like actual promotion day and testing.
Yeah.
They're just constantly monitoring us.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to, really. So.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There's two school of thoughts about that, right?
Yeah.
One, if structure is good, so it keeps it kind of consistent, but at the same time, the other way, like for example, you guys do no-gi, it's kind of hard too, because when you look at somebody, you're just seeing rash guards. Whereas if you look at me, you're like, oh, Sam's been in forever, and you look down, he's got white belt. What the heck, It jogs a memory for you. It triggers something for you. You go, okay, he needs to level up,
I see.
right?
Okay.
Whereas no-gi, I see a lot of my friends, they're like, they smash me, and they've got like a white belt.
Yeah.
They'll go, yeah, but I don't do gi, I just do no gi. But they're just like, they're smashing black belts. You're like, what the?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
Like they should be at the level that they should be,
Yeah.
roughly,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a big difference, someone that's a purple belt versus someone that's a white belt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now you have a new white belt that's walking in. It makes them look like, wait, what? I have to be like that?
Right.
I'm not like that. Therefore,
Yeah.
I quit.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I meant by the
Right.
promotions,
Okay.
right?
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, what does the promotion or the test rather entail?
So, for example, I don't. There's certain submissions you need to do from like guard or from mount, from knee on belly.
Okay.
Certain throws that you need to know. Certain 3 escapes from this position. 3 escapes from mount. Or when someone's mounting you, or 3 submissions from guard, or like just you have to know a certain thing, a certain set of curriculums.
Yeah.
For that belt level.
So they're calling it out, and you just have to
Yeah.
act it out.
Yeah.
Wow, that could be
my
really
goodness.
beneficial.
Oh, yeah,
honestly.
for sure.
Yeah.
The recall, There's lots of times we're in situations where it's just like, I don't know what to do. We're just like frozen
Yeah.
and just trying to survive.
It's just I think it's good because it gives you a baseline.
Yeah, exactly.
Gives you
Yeah.
a standard. You should
Right.
know this. Now, what I like about it, it's like, hey, show me 3 submissions from guard. Okay. Well, I do 3, my favorite 3 submissions.
Yeah.
If they're your favorite, you practice them and you're good at them. Or not
Yeah.
good at them, but you're good at doing them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or you'll do 3 sweeps from guard.
Yeah.
Right? And I like to do the ones I actually use. I don't want to do
Right.
it just because it's on the curriculum, because
Yeah.
I hate doing moves that I'm not good at, like
Yeah.
or it doesn't match with my head, like it doesn't fit well. I can't process it. Especially the ones that have like 55 moves, right? You mean just roll them over? Is that what you want me to do? Okay. So I just what's the method? Kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes.
Is that it? I've never heard that before.
You've never heard of
No.
that? Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, I'm terrible when it comes to like
Acronyms?
catchphrases or sayings or whatever. I always mix them up, and I try to make that my thing for a little bit, but then I just end up sounding stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, keep it simple, stupid,
Yeah.
right? Like, and that goes a long way in jiu-jitsu, in life, and golf.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know.
One of the benefits that I really enjoy about jiu-jitsu is that it's so stressful, you know, when you're live rolling with somebody and you're just stuck in a rut and you can't get out of it, you don't know what to do. That translates to life so well, because what you learn in jiu-jitsu is like, okay, you have to stay calm, maybe wait it out, wait for an opportunity, let them make the mistake, whatever the case might be. And then in life, a lot of the times you can apply that as well. You know, if you're going through a real stressful time, just patience is key. Wait it out, you know, just relax. Use this time to rest. Okay?
Yeah.
And explode when you need to explode, you know?
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, right?
Yeah.
Because yesterday I was rolling with this guy, super strong. This guy's so strong, little guy. He's like a power lifter, but he's a good training partner. I had him in a arm triangle, and I almost had it, and then the arm just went. It just like went dead. My arm.
Oh no.
It just arm pump, right?
Oh, wow,
You just the
yeah.
arm doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
I was squeezing so hard, you know.
Cut off circulation.
But it's probably my technique too, right? Because if I did it right, if I did it right, it would have worked. But
Yeah.
but you know, and then I was just and then the whole 2-3 rounds after that, my energy was like I was like, just tap me out, because I can't even move right now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So which leads me to go, okay, tomorrow you're jumping on the rower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now it's teaching me, you made a mistake here. Not a mistake, but
It didn't work out.
I'm learning from my mistakes.
Right.
Why did that happen? Because your cardio sucks. Okay, how do I fix that?
Yeah.
Jump on the rower.
Gassed out. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem solution.
Every day in
jiu-jitsu
jiu-jitsu.
is, yeah.
Problem solution. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
what was it? Yeah, I'm totally convinced. Like, it's also like jiu-jitsu is like being in a gang too, right? Because every day you get jumped in, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's wild.
It is. I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm like,
love
I want
it.
to get beat up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I rest day or that.
It's very reassuring too. You're just
Yeah.
like walking around town very confidently, you know? You're like,
It's a confident. You
I'm all
don't.
right.
We don't like show it, but
Yeah.
it's here,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
And like you guys do martial arts, or someone in the military, right? They can tell if there's another military person,
Yeah.
right? I always sniff out like people that do jiu-jitsu or martial
Yeah.
arts. You could just tell, just
Yeah.
body language,
Exactly.
where they sit. Do they have the back against the wall?
That's so interesting. Yeah, the other day I was out running on the trail and I saw this guy and I was like, he probably trains.
Yeah.
And I had the idea, I was like, I want to just shoot in on him, see how he reacts. But
You didn't do that,
obviously-
right?
No, of course not. No. But I
That
could tell.
is dangerous.
Like,
Don't do that.
yeah, no.
Jiu-jitsu.
It was just one of those
Yeah.
intrusive thoughts I had, you know. But as you were saying, like, there's just certain tells, you know, you can tell certain people, like, I'm pretty sure that they train. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way they carry themselves.
Exactly,
You know? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's really neat. I like that. It's like a sixth sense.
Yeah.
Sense. How many senses do we have? I forget.
It's a sixth sense, yeah.
Sixth sense.
Well, yeah, I guess goes with like intuition.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, yeah, I think we got to wrap it up. That's our time. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh,
for
yeah.
joining
Awesome.
us.
This is awesome.
I
This is
love
great.
learning some more about you because, like, I know that you're a very interesting individual. And
Yeah.
we
Oh,
have
thank
a lot
you.
to share.
Yeah, I
Definitely
think
interesting.
we definitely have some
I'm still
more.
learning more about
Yeah.
myself. Going, wow, you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, do you have like social media or anything that you want people watching to know about that they can reach out?
I don't, but my Instagram, Sam W. Lam.
Okay.
Sam
cool.
W. Lam.
Yeah.
Follow him on Instagram, you know? Give him a like.
Sure. Yeah.
All
Hopefully we'll see you in the episode 2.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
I'm so
We should
glad
definitely
that
have
you
a
come
follow
on.
up to this one,
Yes.
yeah, because I think there's a lot more that we can go over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again for joining us, guys. We appreciate all the support. Hope you all are taking care of each other out there, staying safe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think. Have any questions for us? Have any questions for Sam? We'll definitely ask him.
Yeah, reach out. And let's get you guys on here too, huh?
Yeah.
What do you say? All right, guys. Thanks. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
All right.